disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partners, Joe Hartley and Angel Diaz. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
What's up, man?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Internet Network. On Mondays, well, we don't have Raw right now. Tuesdays, we have CTE with Chris Los and Travis. Wednesdays is us. Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Joe, and Angel. And on Thursdays, you can get the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, you can check us out on our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Internet Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Fellas, it's showtime. What's going on?
Man, just another regular week for the most part. So did the Super Bowl on Sunday. Had a good time with that. Great game.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Not the outcome I really thought was going to happen, but it was still a good game. So I don't got much to complain about. Other than that, just getting ready to go to Disney here, coming up on Sunday. So
Okay.
midwinter break. I'll be gone Sunday, coming back on Friday.
Okay. So we got to talk about our next week show then.
You can do it on Saturday, or you can wait till next week till I get back.
Yeah, there's no way Angel gonna be ready by Saturday. You know that.
Wait, this Saturday?
Yeah, he's talking about this Saturday. You talking about this Saturday, right? Or you talking about next week?
Yeah, this Saturday would have to be, otherwise, because I'll be gone Sunday at 1 p.m.
Oh, listen.
Unless you want to do early morning Sunday.
listen. I'm good because I don't got to work tomorrow or I don't got to work Monday. So I'm living life.
If you don't want to squeeze one in on Saturday, that's the best way.
On Saturday. Go ahead, squeeze it in. I'm good.
I don't know about that.
But listen, like, kill him.
Depends when on Saturday, because I got some stuff I got to do early on Saturday, but we'll talk about it.
Bro, I don't have a life, so I'm good.
No, I actually thought you would be traveling or competing.
No. I got well, I'll explain to you why I said I'm good from now on. So I got you.
Okay.
All right.
That's it, Joe. That's it for you.
Oh yeah, you know what? My father-in-law made a brisket this is the third time he made this bad boy. He smokes that thing for 24 hours, literally getting up every hour in the middle of the night, and it is so good with some burnt ends. Oh man, it is delicious. So that was my Sunday.
My dad and Travis can talk to you about that, because they love barbecuing and cooking and smoking meat and all that stuff.
No, is it your dad or is it Coach Plowden that like has like award-winning smoke like barbecue? Like
Gene's dad.
Yeah, that's my dad. That's my dad. My dad does the competitions. Him and my other uncle, my uncle Rob.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like that thing brought like the color person out of me when I saw it. It looked so good.
Oh, you've been seeing those pictures he been posting?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it brought the color person out of me, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. It looks so good.
Next time they do one in Detroit, y'all gonna have to tell me, because
listen, I'll
show up and vote. So
I'm not like a big person on like smoked and like barbecue stuff. I just only like the taste of it, like smoked meat and all that. But I'm not gonna lie to you, that looked real good. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
When I went to Charlotte, they took me to this place that had like smoked wings and smoked like everything. And it's just like, I don't know, I feel like I taste like the I just feel like I taste like the wood, like the cedar taste to it. But that looked good though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty good, even though I haven't had it, and I'm going on 3 years now.
Oh well, I know why. Yeah,
and I thought that was going to be the hardest thing about being plant based was with the barbecuing, but actually I haven't really missed it at all. So I still go to the competitions and stuff and hang out because they do those things. They do it big. My mom helps out with it. My dad, my uncle, Trav, he'll come through. And then we'll be out at a park or somewhere, all day, make a day of it. It's like a tournament almost.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, and then a lot of times too, those barbecue competitions, it's like tied to a carnival also. A lot of times, so there's things going on, rides,
like a state fair type thing.
Like, Yeah, similar to that type of stuff. Yeah, so it's not just sitting there waiting all the time, and a lot of times they're out there early in the morning, afternoon, and a lot of times the judges doesn't take place till about 4 or 5 in the evening. So
that's because it takes time for it to cook, right?
they have a certain time they have to turn the meat in, and then they're just waiting to find out who won, because the judges is normally somewhere else. We don't see them when they're tasting the food. They're normally somewhere else, and then they'll call everybody to a stage, and then they'll say who won.
Listen, they're smart. If it was me, I'll slip a judge of 20 and be like, you better give me some good reviews there.
So
gotta let the food speak for itself, man.
Yeah, well, guess what, Joe? Money talks, bro. So
what's up with you, Angel?
So I just got back. I was with Jeff in Miami, Fort Lauderdale area.
Mm-hmm.
So we were over there. We had a tournament. This was like my second tournament of the year, actually. So we went, and it was interesting. That's all I can say is interesting. Jeff ended up winning overall weapons grand. Which, man, I said it all the time. I love going to tournaments with Jeff, man. Like it really is like probably like one of my fun times. This is probably one of the first tournaments I had a lot of fun at in like a while. So it was cool just being like with a lot of my friends and all that. But Jeff is just hilarious. The amount that me and Jeff argue at a tournament is so and it's funny because some people like they kind of do think that we really do have we really do hate each other. Yeah, like we do hate each other, and it's really not. Like we just love talking shit to each other all the time. So
y'all both should record it. Y'all both should record it. That's Patreon exclusive.
Listen, we were there, and he said something so. Jeff messaged me not too long ago, and we were having a conversation, and I told Jeff, I said, "Bro, you're about as threatening as a pillow fight." So I didn't know it bothered him. He sees me and he started, "Oh man, threatening as a pillow fight, right?" He goes, "At least I don't look like you. Your eyes are bugging out of your head half the time when you talk." So I was like, "Oh, okay, that's good." So I looked at him. I said, "Jeff, calm down, bro. Your face is as red as that mat. You're about to pass out." And it just everyone's watching us go back and forth, but that's just who we are. And then that's just us. And then we just laugh all the time. Me and Jeff just have such a good laugh. So we were doing that. I ended up competing. I was supposed to be on stage. I ended up getting injured, so I fought during the day. I won my division. I won all my fights in overalls, and then I got to the overall grand championship match, the finals, and my shoulder popped out. I got my shoulder dislocated. So we were supposed to be on stage, and I just couldn't do it. So my shoulder, I actually had to go to the ER.
Again?
Yeah. So man. I had to go to the ER. They had to drug me up and all this other stuff. So I'm probably gonna be out for a while till I can compete again. So that's why I said I ain't got nothing but time now, which is good. I needed time.
That the first time your shoulder did that?
So this is the thing. I played baseball in high school. So, I was a pitcher growing up, and then I played the outfield. So I did a lot of throwing motions anyways. This shoulder dislocated 5 or 6 years ago. And at the time, I didn't need surgery, didn't need nothing. They gave me physical therapy. To be honest, it hasn't happened in 5 or 6 years. But this is the first time my shoulder ever dislocated in the middle of a competition, whether it was baseball or karate. But this is the first time it ever happened in karate. So my shoulder dislocated, and now I went to them, and I gotta get MRIs, I gotta get all this stuff to see if it's surgery based or if I need more physical therapy. But it sucks.
I'm asking because I had it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fell and popped my one out. Never had a problem with the left one. Wrestling popped it out, and then it was never the same. Was at a tournament in I want to say it was Ontario, Toronto, one of those. And I was fighting my second fight, and I felt it pop, so I couldn't hold my hand up. So I could only use kicks. I won the fight, and then I had to fight 2 fights for grands, and coach pulled me out. He had to call my dad because I didn't want to. It was my first competition in 3 years. I wanted to fight.
Yeah.
But so I had to get it surgery on it.
From it
But it's
being
been good ever since.
well,
It was slipping all the time. It was slipping while I was asleep.
See, so that's the thing.
So
My thing is this: it hasn't slipped in years. Like it hasn't slipped in years, and I'm usually like really good about. I'm really usually good about making sure it doesn't slip and all that. And I gotta go to a chiropractor and all this and that. So like they like crack it, make sure everything's all good with it. And I do my stretches before. So like it hasn't slipped ever in a competition. What happened was the dude I was fighting I gotta give it to him, is Ryan George. He's like an elite fighter. He threw a ridge hand from hell. Like if I didn't block it, I didn't know how bad it was. I remember like when I blocked it, what happened, but I saw the video. If I didn't block it, it was gonna knock me out cold. Like he threw it with everything he had, and you see me like block it. I go down and I try to lift my arm up to block again, and my whole body like gave out. I just couldn't. My arm was dangling.
Yep. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, so it was tough. So yeah.
You know, I've only had one. I've never had anything pop out of socket or anything like that. But you know, throughout the whole time I've been training and competing, I've only had one injury when it came to karate. You know, and that was Ski Cousin. He side kicked me. I'm throwing a reverse punch. He threw a side kick, and I broke a finger. Other than that, I've never really had any other serious karate issues. Now I have hurt myself. You know, I've had a broke finger. On the other hand, my brother pushed me off my bunk bed. I think I told that story before. And then another time I broke my toe throwing a kick at my brother, trying to get him out my bedroom. I threw a flying sidekick. Sidekick at him.
I can just imagine Trav being like, "Look at you, dumbass. That's why you broke the toe." Like, I can just imagine Trav like getting at you, be like, "That's why you don't do that." I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
My baby nephew, he's barely 2. I do that with him. He wants to.
You throw a flying sidekick at him?
No. Wait. Hold on. I'm flying sidekick. I'm saying like he like
throw him off a bunk bed.
He likes to try and hit.
Angel, I don't think your brother's gonna let you watch him anymore.
You're gonna make me get. I'm about to go to jail for child abuse. No, he tries to hit me all the time. So I worked with him when he was like 8-9 months. I worked with him on karate. So like just doing little things. So he actually is like he's not even 2. He could like do like side kicks, front kicks. He could do front punches. Like he could do like downward block. He knows how to do crab walk, bunny hops. Like he knows how to do almost a lot like of like my beginner's class. But what happens now is like he still thinks everything's a game. So he wants to hit me every time he sees me. So all he wants to do is fight. So I'll get like sometimes I get mad. I'm like, dude, like stop hitting me. Like I'm annoyed or like I just don't want you to hit me. Like come on, like just stop. Like we don't have to be on game mode all the time. Like we can relax, right? So I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. He's trying to kick me, and he missed, and the back of his heel hit the chair. It wasn't hard. It was like a little boof. And he was like, he started doing his tears. He's like, and I looked and I'm like, that's what you get. That's why you're going to stop hitting me, right? You see? That's what I told you. Don't do that. Like, no, like, tough love. You need to man up. The boy is already looked like he's 30. So, like,
he said he's almost 2. Joe, he said that he's almost 2, and he said that he needs to man up.
Listen, you don't know him. If you saw him, the boy got strength of an ox. Like he knows how to pick stuff up. He is strong. Then on top of that, it looks like he's like should be in a 5-year-old kindergarten class. He's tall. Like when I tell you, you guys don't know him. Like I tell people this, and they think I'm joking. When they see him, they're like, "Oh Jesus! Like how old is he?" I'm like, "No, right? Like he's a 1.5. It's crazy." Like. I swear, next thing you're gonna see, he's gonna have a beard. I'm joking.
Start pitching in the minors.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
How about you, Gene?
My weekend was cool. Champ's birthday was Saturday.
Oh, yes, sir. Happy birthday, Champ.
Yeah. So we had a bowling party. So we went and bowled for a couple hours. I did not think those kids were gonna bowl for 2 hours, and they did. 2 hours straight. Yeah, they did. Yep.
Now,
game after game.
They did duck pin bowling or real bowling?
Would you say duck pin? What's that?
Oh, you don't know what duck pin is?
No.
Oh, okay. It's like, wait, does no one know what this is?
Well,
No.
it's only me and Joe.
Okay. All right, so
I mean, what are you saying? There's nobody.
I'm
Joe, you
trying
see
so
anybody
hard.
else? You see
I'm
anybody
trying
else on
so
this
hard
show?
not to let.
I hope not. I'll be worried.
I'm trying so hard not to let no curse words come out. That was such a smart ass answer. Okay, so all right, so duck pin bowling is where like they do like I think it's like normal bowling pins or like a little bit smaller, but like the bowling ball is like super small. It's like this.
Oh, I know what you're talking. Yeah. I've seen that before. No,
They
they
call
did
it
real
duck pin
bowl.
over here. I don't know what it is over there, but
I've never seen that at a bowling alley for real. Like I've seen
no.
stuff like that, like at I don't know, like what do you call it? Dave and Buster's, like some
Yeah, like the
place like
arcades.
that.
So think about that.
Yeah.
The same size, like exactly like that, but it's a real ball.
Okay,
Yeah,
no.
they had that growing up when I was over here. That's why I didn't know if they had it over there.
No, they did real bowling. I mean, we put the bumpers up for them, so they had
Yeah,
bumper lanes,
yeah.
but they did real bowling.
Listen, bro, there ain't nothing worse than when you take a kid to a bowling alley and you don't put the bumper lanes and it's just gutter ball after gutter ball.
Oh man, yeah,
All
that
you see
definitely
is-
would have happened.
All you see is you just waste your damn money, right out the door.
Hey, that's how they learn. That's how they
Right out the
learn.
door. That's what happens.
Yeah, a kid, one of the kids didn't show up, so I ended up taking his place and bowling, bowling
Yeah,
for him.
I'm sure. I'm sure you were hurt. I'm sure you were hurt. You were like,
I mean, it didn't matter, So we had fun. And then we went back to his grandmother's house to do the pizza and cake and ice cream and all that stuff because we couldn't do that at the bowling alley. They didn't allow. No, they didn't allow it. They just let us use the lanes, and there was nothing else. They didn't have parties. They didn't allow parties at this particular place we went to.
Is this place making money? Because that don't seem smart.
I mean, don't sound like they like money.
No. I mean, they still had a bar in there, and they had concession stand or whatever.
Yeah, but you don't. But bro, you make your money off of.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree. Especially it's 2:00 in the afternoon. The pros are not.
Too. Like, it ain't like you getting like it's not you getting like the crazy bowlers that are gonna come in.
No. Nope. So so we had a good time. And then like Joe said, Sunday Super Bowl. So me and Melissa just sat around, watched that. She's been busy lately, trying to her last week of school is this week, so she's getting ready to finish up with that. Yeah, man. The rest of this week, it's just been chill, man. Just a chill week. I'm always busy, always doing stuff. Talk to the kids about you, Joe. So they're pretty excited you coming back in March. Get back to the bowl class. You're gonna have a couple of new kids. Jade and Connor are gonna be in that class now. I moved them to that class now, so they're in there.
Cool.
So yeah. So I'm gonna get them their bowls. So hopefully they'll have it by the time you come back.
Hey, so did Trav ever come back and teach a class?
Again? I mean, he came in a couple weeks ago, but he didn't come back.
Has he come back since then?
No. He left right out. He left the next day. So right now,
he was in New York. Now he's in Atlanta.
Yeah, now he's in Atlanta. Matter of fact, I had to pack up some stuff and send it to him today. And it's not gonna get down there till Monday.
Yeah, you're saying that, and all I can think of is a certain song from Ludacris, man.
And then I'm not saying nothing about that. And then he's going to Florida right after that. I actually put my parents' mail. I sent the mail in his luggage that I sent down there to him. So he's gonna take my parents their mail when he gets down there to Florida. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yep. All right, let's talk about this movie because we already got ready. We got ready to jump into it before we started recording, so we might as well just get into it now. Drifter TKD.
Now, so anybody that didn't listen to our interview on Patreon, we switched from John Wick this week because after talking to Ron, we had to watch this movie because the guy was he was cool to talk to, so I had to
he's a ball of energy.
I mean, for the most part, it didn't disappoint. So
yeah, and if you haven't listened to that show, it's a Patreon exclusive, so you have to join our Patreon. As we spoke to Ron Ponell, I don't even think we mentioned it on the last. Did we mention it on the last podcast that we were doing that?
I don't think we did.
We did not because we recorded the podcast before the Patreon.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So this is our first time mentioning it.
The Patreon,
but there is a teaser on the website, the Facebook, and there's also a teaser on wherever you listen to your podcast. Just the first couple of minutes. So I'm telling you all right now,
That was a good show.
He came out the bat swinging.
Listen,
and
let me
he
tell
did
you
not
something.
stop the whole time.
I don't care. Like I really believe like that was the best first interview we could have done.
Like, it was good.
Like he, like in a way, he did set a bar high because it's like he gave us impersonations, he gave us impressions, like he gave us like the real deal. Like I don't know. I just felt like I knew him.
He wasn't boring. He wasn't boring either.
Yeah, like he was like lively. God, and then he started. Listen, for the people that are listening, go to the Patreon. He started telling us like, "Come on, what are your other questions? Let's go. I got you. What are your notes?"
Yeah,
he was like,
he didn't shy away for anything.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something. Like he was ready.
Angel, you made sure me and Joe were on our best behavior.
Thank God, because we ain't about to ask him the black belt question.
So I still think he would have answered it.
Yeah, listen, I think so too.
Really, a man of Christian faith was going to answer that? Okay. Yeah, you guys are good. Yeah, good job.
Well, he was talking about stuff leading up to that kind of stuff already, and part of this movie was a little bit, So I'm just saying.
Listen, he one thing I thought was cool, and not saying like I don't want to say this to like make us seem like we have a lesser value, but I'm just gonna. I think it hit me in the moment that I didn't realize who we are now. But he was like, "Man, you guys must be taking good notes. So like, what else do you have in your notes?" And I wanted so badly to be like, "Notes, bro. I'm just talking to you." But then I was like, I'm an interviewer for a movie podcast. I have notes. I am of importance now. Like who? Like yes, sir. Like that's right. I got notes, man. Absolutely. Like you don't understand when he said that. I wanted to be like,
you felt proud of yourself, huh?
Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. For the first time, even with school, I felt prepared. Like it was like I was like, I actually know what I'm doing this time. But nah, he was awesome, man. He was awesome. So I thought it was dope.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Joe?
I was gonna say if y'all want to see, if anything, listen to the interview. But if y'all want to see Angel geek out, Angel was hyped the whole time. He was hyped the whole time. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Dude, because it's like you don't like when I tell you guys, like I was watching him when he was saying all these tournaments. I remember sitting here in Connecticut watching trying to find any videos on him to see if he really does, what he does, like if he really is good at karate and if he could still win and if he was even around. Which I think that's going to be a good segue to like lead into the movie. Now is he actually was doing defensive side kicks, back fists, blitz in his choreography. Like he was serious about like the way he does whatever his choreography is what he does in a tournament.
That's one thing that stood out to me with the interview is he said that he was fighting, up until a few years ago.
Yeah, he was.
That's wow. That's crazy.
I know, right? Isn't it nuts? And it's like just watching him in this movie, it's like he really did mean it. Like he only does his choreography is what he would win at a tournament with. That's it. Yep. Which I think is kind of cool for people that are in sport karate in a way to kind of have someone like him that does choreography. And yeah, it may not be at the highest level, but he did get to some pretty high places because it kind of shows like, how people say like in sport karate, like, oh, it wouldn't really work in the street. But it's like people are even forget about the extreme forms. They're taking the fighting style and still using it in movies and making it work. You know what I mean? So just to me, like, I just really thought that was something that I actually liked from the movie was not just how he told us about the choreography and how it earned him nominations, but that the choreography really was what he said. It's real karate. It's what he would actually do. So I really like that. And that's something I think that I liked about the movie, regardless of the budget that he put on it. So.
Yeah, actually, it got me excited because I want to do more interviews like that now. After we had that one, it really energized me to do more.
Yeah, and I want to, for everyone that kind of heard us last week, once when we do the John Wick series, which the new movie comes out March 25th.
Oh, okay. So we should probably start. We should probably start.
We'll plan it accordingly so it leads up into it, and then boom, Joe, you just let us know what we got to do, and we'll rock and roll with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I talked to him a couple months ago, so he was ready to go, and I'll get a couple of dates that work for him in time.
Yeah, so. Just let us know because I saw I think today on Facebook that March 25th is when the new one comes out, which also is cool, man. I almost forgot they have Donnie Yen in that, right?
Yes, the new one.
Yeah, it's gonna be good, man. I like Donnie Yen. I think he's a really good martial arts actor. He
Oh
has
yeah.
really good, he has really good choreography. He's
Mhm.
really good choreography. So I enjoy it.
Okay. So let's jump into it. Drifter TKD. That's the name of it, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
Drifter
sir.
TKD.
All right. So I tried to look at the other movie also, and that movie I just couldn't find
We
anywhere.
said it was it was Thunder Kick, right? That's what it was.
Thunderkick, yeah,
Yeah.
Thunderkick. And I could not find his version of Thunderkick. I saw some other ones, but his version, I couldn't find that anywhere.
Listen, I'm gonna be real with you, bro. I didn't even know he did Thunder Kick.
Oh,
I
you've
didn't
seen
He
it?
said it in the interview.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I'm saying like before, like when you guys asked him that, I didn't even know he was in it.
Oh, gotcha.
Like I actually did not know that. Like you guys, that's why when he said, "Man, you guys got your notes," I was like, "Yeah, I guess."
Well, I just looked up a few things just to
Yeah.
get an idea of what's some good questions I could ask.
No, I got you. Which you guys asked some good questions. Also, I'm sorry, everybody. Please watch the Patreon. Like, please get to it because that was an amazing interview.
Mhm.
It was great.
Go ahead. Let's talk about it then. Well, first off, what you got to say something, Angel?
Yeah, well, yeah, I was just gonna say like what I thought about the movie just off the
Mhm.
rip. I actually, you know what, man? Like I said, like for it being like a $10,000 movie or like a $10,000 like credit card movie, I actually thought it was pretty good, like pretty well filmed and everything. You know,
That's interesting. That's
uh,
interesting.
it's interesting. I actually thought it was like again, like I said, he warned us already. So like, if he didn't, probably would have tore it to shreds. But I'm not going to. Like,
Mhm.
he warned us, so like we knew what we were walking into, right?
Mhm.
It's different when we're sitting here trying to watch, a wrestling Christmas miracle and like, you know,
They had a $2,000 budget.
But I'm
2000.
saying, like, okay, so take this $10,000 budget. Better than Street Fighter, worse than Street Fighter, same. Because Street Fighter
Ooh,
had a much bigger budget.
ooh. You know what, man? I didn't even think about that. But you know what? I did not think this. Okay, let's see how to say
You
this.
said better than Street Fighter, worse than Street Fighter, or the same? The same in what way? The same in what way? Let's define
Just
that.
any of it. Because to
What
me,
I did
it was
not.
better
Okay,
than Street Fighter, and Street Fighter had a huge
yeah,
budget.
So
yeah.
this is the thing. I think in story wise, it was better.
Yes, I
Yes.
I
agree.
think story wise, I think obviously cinematography, they can only do the best with what they got. So I think cinematography, I think that's where a lot of Street
But you
Fighter's
know what?
budget could go to.
As far as the movie, the way the movie looked like a professional movie if it had been made in the early 80s. That camera, whatever camera he used, it made me think of old television shows and old movies that were in the early 80s. That's what it looked like to me. Even though this movie was made in 2008, I was wondering like how did he, because it didn't look like a karate Christmas miracle or a karate or a wrestling miracle. It didn't look like that. It looked
Thank God.
older. It looked it looked older than those movies to me, but it still looked professional.
It probably was a good thing that the camera looked like it was from the 80s and it
Yeah,
wasn't.
yeah. I mean, I'm not knocking it. That wasn't a knock. I'm not knocking it. I was just, when I was watching, I was like, man, this. I looked up the year again because I was like, I thought he said this was 2008, and I went back and looked. And I said, yeah, it's 2008. It just has an older look to it.
Well, you know what? The camera probably was from the 80s.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah,
He
it's
just
possible.
like he probably figured like it was gonna give it a certain type of look to it. So
I had that look.
Yeah,
I mean, personally, I want to be honest with you. He was almost unrecognizable for me.
he was.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I looked it up. I had to look because I thought he said he was in the movie, so I had to look back up. I was like, who is he? I had to look it up and find out, and I found him.
To the point where it didn't even sound like him.
It didn't sound.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. He was acting, right? That's what you should do. You want to give one of you guys want to give a synopsis of this movie? What this movie is about?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a basic movie, but I do like the concept. So the idea is you got Ron Pownell playing Harrison Luke. Harrison Luke runs a martial arts school, and basically he at the beginning he's told that the school's been bought out by a corporation, and he's going to be the instructor. He's just going to have to do things the way the corporation wants to do it now. And he's not down with that. Now, the other part that you learn about earlier is they show him training Jesse Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse Tyler's like his top student. He talks about Jesse being a good martial artist, Jesse going to school to be a lawyer. And then we don't hear about Jesse until the corporation. What was the name of the corporation? Tecmo Tech or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Is owned by Jesse's dad. And what happens is Jesse's going to run the daily operations of the other 9, including this one, 10 martial arts schools. Basically, his dad bought out 10 of the top martial arts schools to run and make profitable. And he's putting Jesse in charge. So Harrison is upset because he's like, my number one student basically pulled the rug out from under me. And, I'm not about that life. His way of handling that is saying, peace out. I'm not going to be a part of a corporation. I'm going to go look my uncle up in Arizona and be a drifter.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a couple things. Let's stop it right there. That was excellent, Joe.
Yeah.
Number one, what I thought, okay, I'm talking about the character. I thought that this was his school. Like, how can someone buy you out of your own school? At first, I thought they bought the building and they wanted to tell him what to do. So when he said, well, I'm not down with that, I'm out of here. I'm thinking, like, this is your business. Like, just move your school to another business or another building and just continue to run your business this way. So
yeah, I agree. I didn't understand that either.
What did you think, Angel?
I thought so. My thought was, he said you can have the school, like he didn't even want to teach it anymore.
Okay, but Angel, like if I come to your school and say, "Hey, Angel, I'm buying this building and you're going to work for me," you're not. If there's nothing you can do, if I took over the lease of your building, you would just take your students and go somewhere else.
No,
like,
not necessarily, because
why wouldn't you?
He didn't have He didn't have nowhere to go. And what if the students didn't want to leave?
The building, they're attached to the building.
What if the students didn't want to leave though? Like, what if they didn't? Because he didn't have nowhere else to go.
He didn't look. He said,
don't know that.
I'm out. He said, I'm out. There was no cut scene. It was when they walked in, they told him they were taking over. He was like, fine, I'm out of here. I'm out.
Well,
and he left.
Well, we didn't know that.
Yeah, I was lost. I was lost with that because I was like, wait, that's not making any sense to me. Just
no, I think it was like a hostile takeover, more or less. Again, I think it could have been explained better, but basically they took over the business. You could run the business, but you're going to do it our way.
I'm just trying to imagine somebody walking into my dojo and telling me this.
No, you're right. But they're not saying you have to do the karate my way. They want the business end done his way.
Yeah.
And he explains that later to one of the other schools, because he explains the idea of how they're going to get more students and keep the students from leaving. Because they later on, they basically say, well, the biggest problem you have here is the turnover of students. And the gentleman says, well, how can I stop the turnover? If somebody doesn't want to be here, I'm not going to keep them here. Mm-hmm. And he says, well, you lock them into a 5-year contract, and then they can leave if they want. And then we take them to small claims court and sue them for the rest of their contract.
Yeah, man. There were a few people that tried to convince me to do that with my school. Now, I'm not saying a 5-year contract, but contract. I don't like contracts. I don't like them at all. I've actually had parents contact me and asked me if I had contracts because they were at someone else's school in the area who had contracts, and they just wasn't cool with that.
Now I've seen it run, presented, I guess is the better word, where you can pay monthly, or you can do the black belt club. We did a black belt club, and it would say, in 3 years, we're going to do our very best to get you a black belt. So we'll give you, I don't know if it was discounted. I was young at the time, so I don't know if it was discounted or what. But since my dad was paying for 2 of us, I think it ended up working out for him in the long run to be a part of that. So he signed up for that. But it wasn't something you were forced into. You
Now-
were asked if you wanted to do it and if
Mhm.
you like to do it and make that commitment.
Now, just imagine 3 years ago, you signed up in February of 2020 and you signed this contract, and then COVID happens.
Now, see, there would have to be some, yeah, lawyer-wise, they'd probably say, well, too bad, but
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then you end up getting bad reviews online.
Should.
And that type of stuff is just not worth it to me.
No, I agree. And I'm of the belief, like, I don't want people, when I was a supervisor, I was the same way. I don't want people that work for me or train under me. If you don't want to be here, I don't want you here.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not going to force you to do anything.
And I'm not trying to go to court either over this.
Exactly. Yeah, no doubt.
Who has time for that?
So, later in the movie, they
hold on, Joe. One thing,
yeah.
they said that he left his wallet when he left. I just didn't get that part either. Like, why aren't you taking your money, your identification? Like, I didn't
Dude,
understand.
This guy, he was special. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, he was.
Okay, he wanted to be off the grid. He was hitchhiking. He had his I don't even know what his one instructor called it. He had some camo on, some old school stuff.
From their demonstration. They did a demonstration, and I guess they wore that stuff.
So he was hitchhiking his way from, where were they? California, and then going to
California.
Arizona.
I think it said Blythe, California, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. So what's happening is we pan over to the company, and Jesse's promoted to CEO. And so when he finds out he's promoted, he's kind of like thinking in his head, he's telling his dad, like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I don't know. And the dad then drops on him, I bought all the karate schools. This is how we're going to do it now. You're in charge of it. Well, Jesse's a little upset about that because he feels like the karate world is going to be upset, and his instructor is going to be upset about it. Go ahead.
No, continue.
And I mean, of course, anybody who's in martial arts. You don't do something to upset your instructor. You don't do something to upset your coach. Like, there's usually a mutual respect for those people.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it's a business move, the last thing you want to do is upset them. And he was very worried about it. And he knew exactly what was going to happen. And he was right. But his dad didn't care, because his dad's like, this is how it's going to be. If you want to run this company, you got to do it my way. Da 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 da. So now Jesse's trying to figure out, like, what he can do to make things better and make things right. But when he goes to confront his instructor, Harrison Luke, he's gone. He's off the grid. He's nowhere to be found.
Mm-hmm. Now, so Jesse not only finished college, he also finished law school.
Yep.
And he was only 22. So he had to have been extremely smart to do all of that, by the age of 22.
Yep. I agree.
So I understand why his dad would think, okay, well, my son can run it, but he didn't even ask him if he wanted to practice law. He's like, why would you go through all of this to get your to become a lawyer, and you end up going to run my company? Like, I would have just not even gone to law school.
Yeah, now he's got all those student loans to pay off.
Yeah. I don't think they worried about that. They seemed like they were pretty rich, so I don't think they worried about that, though. So
Jesse, the only clue he gets to where he can find his master, his instructor, is that he's talked about his brother in Arizona. But he don't know where that is. He don't know how anything. So
uncle.
Uncle in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
So Jesse decides to also become a drifter, wearing the same getup. Now, his drifting is a little different because he does take his wallet, he does take his money,
mm-hmm.
but later on a little bit, don't do him no good.
No. What'd you think, Angel?
So I actually was. So when I saw that, the whole lawyer thing, I thought he did it because he would better know how to understand and run the business.
Possibly.
And it's like, in a way, like, not say I don't know. I don't want to say like people. I'm not gonna say no one gets into these situations, but like like if any like law things come up or just overall just understanding like the like we all know like there's like certain things like outside of the business of just like trying to just start up the business you have to run into like taxes and just different things getting stuff set up. So I figure like he did that in a way to prep him, so like he knew how to run the business with all ins and outs.
I guess.
Now I agree with you though. What was the point of going through all that if you were just gonna take over take it over anyway?
I tell you, man, knowing me, I barely would have finished regular college. Wait, if I knew I was about to be the CEO of a big company, man, I'm going to class when I want to. I'm just going to get by. I'm going to enjoy myself. Like, hey, I don't have to worry about filling out, no applications, putting together no resume. I got a company, so.
No, I agree with you.
My hat's off to him.
I mean, maybe that was a deal. He couldn't get the company unless he did that.
Yeah, that's possible.
No.
Yeah. No. So Harrison finally he makes it. He walks or hitchhikes all the way to Arizona, and he gets there, and he runs.
Wait. The first people he tries to hitchhike with stops, and for no reason.
I hated that part.
And of course you did. I know you would. I know you would. Why?
For no reason, they just got the car and started fighting him.
Oh no, I know why Gene hated it. I know why Gene hated it.
Why did you hate it? Listen.
Why did you hate it?
Number one,
because he was black.
Because there were two brothers with do-rags on.
Not just that, but black people don't randomly just start beating up white people. Like we ain't doing that.
That's
what are we? We're not crazy. What are you talking about? Well, see,
they jumped out of. They were like, "Oh, you want to get a ride, old man? Right. No, you don't get no ride. Get over here!"
And then, beating up. I mean, from their point of view, this is a homeless white man. Just like, come on now. You're not gonna care about him.
But that's what they were mad at him about. They're like, we don't like your kind, homeless people hanging around.
I don't even know that. Right? They just assumed. They just assumed he was homeless. Like his car could have broke down. It could have been anything.
It was so bad. The funny part about that is, so they get out and drop kick him. Of all things, you just jump out.
Yeah, hold on. That was an issue I had with the movie. That was a serious issue because everybody knew karate. These are regular people. These are gangsters. Like who's teaching these gangsters karate?
Man, they come from the karate dojo of the streets.
I guess so, man. They know how to
get Thug Jitsu, you better watch yourself. Thug Jitsu, you better watch yourself now, bro.
So Harrison beats them up, and then I kept looking like he gonna steal their car. He gonna take their car. This old man just took your car.
Yeah,
he beat you up and took your car.
But yeah, he did.
That part had me laughing. I don't know why, but it did. So he drives he takes their car.
Oh, I said that's not very honorable to do something like that.
When I saw he took their car, I was just like, man, them jumping them was probably the best thing that could have happened to him. Like instead of him walking everywhere, he was able to drive.
So he gets to Arizona, and he's the first person he comes across. He asks him about his uncle, and he knows exactly who his uncle is. Well, it's a small town, I guess. Now the problem
is it's a made-up town. It's a made-up town. At first, I kept wondering, like, where are these people? Where's the mayor? Where's downtown? That's what I was thinking. No, these are a bunch of homeless people who decided we're going to just make our own little town.
They really did. So he takes him. He explains to his uncle. He takes him to a grave, and his uncle had passed. And his uncle's land was taken over by, honestly, it was taken over by a golf course, is what they say. But we learn shortly after the golf course is not really owned by anybody. It's owned by a pimp. I don't know if they ever gave him a name, but he's a pimp.
Yeah, I don't think
he's grabbing random homeless women and trafficking them.
Yep, and turning them into street meat. Yep. That's right. Putting it out there.
That took
a turn. I was like, where the hell did this come from? I didn't see that coming at all.
No,
when I was
the other
watching
thing,
this, I wanted to be like, why did he talk about this part? Yo, he didn't say nothing about
Yeah,
this.
he did. He did not prepare us for that because I was like,
Yo,
whoa.
and it's crazy because I was so
he
down.
wanted us to discover it on our own.
I was so down for the Christian ministry, and then I saw that. I said, "Whoa, wait a minute! What's going on here? What turn are we taking?"
Hey man, there's a couple other things that are a little bit of a problem, not so Christian either. Later,
what?
on.
There were no regular people in this town.
No,
You notice that there you were either homeless, a thug / gangster,
or a pimp.
or street meat. That's it. you wasn't nothing else. There were no regular people just walking around.
No.
Even when they showed when they went to that little building or whatever, and where everybody were hanging out, it's like these are the same people we've been seeing.
Now the gentleman that's showing him is his the land of his uncle, and that was taken over. He shows him, like Gene just said, a small part that's, I guess, being squatted on, or is not a part of the. It's not a part of the land. I don't know what's going on, but like you said, there's all these homeless people. They created their own little area, and this is perfect for Harrison because he's a drifter. Now he runs into a gentleman. I don't know if he's mental. I don't know if he's just been around too long, if he's been sniffing paint or what. But
I wanted to know how those people were surviving.
Well,
they had no food. They had no food.
This guy was pretending to do kung fu. He kept talking like SpongeBob last. He kept
Yes,
and the first time I heard it, I thought my video messed up. But then he did it again, and I said, wait, he's doing that on purpose. I said, what is the idea? I want to talk to Ron because I want to know what was the idea behind this gentleman. What was the direction he was given? Like, was it just crazy?
Man,
was that a tick? Like, I don't know what that was, but it was weird.
I think that he probably had somebody like that was probably around his martial arts studio, or he's seen or something. Like, that character just kind of seemed like he might have been based on a real person to me.
Well, needless to say, Harrison takes it upon himself to take this group of misfit toys, and he's teaching them karate on this squatter's land with just a Coke bottle that's empty.
Listen, those spinning roundhouse kicks he was throwing, them back leg kicks, the way he spun out of it was actually pretty nice.
So slowly but surely, like, more people just start showing up. And then one of them
they have shit else to do. I mean, somebody's giving them an activity. Like, fine.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, he just slowly started creating his own little karate school out here in Arizona and homeless Jenkins land,
and not about to get paid for it either.
Nope. So, who was the girl that showed up? She showed up. She ran away from her stepfather, was trying to molest her, something like that.
Yeah, we find that out later, and that was all weird.
Her name was Kelly. Now, the thing that got me about Kelly was, like, she was fine until she said she was 17. Then I'm like,
yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to get to that too.
So then everything that happened to her in the movie to me was like, okay, come on, you could have just made this girl 18.
Well, I thought that was weird because she's 17 and now Jesse got a thing for her and he's 22.
That's what I said.
I'm like, okay,
make her 18. Come on.
I'm like, dude, really? Is she gonna be on your level? Like, she has not even finished high school. You finished college and law school. Like, what are y'all gonna talk about?
I don't think they plan on doing much talking.
Well, then he's no better than the pimp. Then
no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So the big problem here is the pimp is basically, he freaks out when Harrison shows up because he thinks Harrison's here to take the land back. Harrison has no idea until later that the pimp needs to get the deed because he acquired the land illegally without the deed. So one of the friends of the uncle does later on give a box to Harrison containing the deed. Now, the interesting thing is that when Jesse shows up and kind of makes up with his master and explains what happened, then everything is good. He becomes a part of the drifting and the karate school. He helps fend away some thugs.
And he decides he wants to be homeless too.
Well, he also he tells his instructor that he can help him take that land back. And for whatever reason, Harrison doesn't want anything to do with it. And that part bugged me because I'm like, this is your uncle's land. I mean, this could have been the very thing that killed him. You know, he had this whole farmland keeping him alive. He had something to live for. These, guys come and take it from him. Now he has nothing. And so you should want to fight for that. So the other thing that we need to bring up is that the corporation run by Jesse and his dad, he has an assistant who helps send a private investigator who's her boyfriend to find Jesse. And this guy is a tool and a half. I guess he was supposed to be the comic relief. Yeah. But I don't know. He was a little bit of a goofball.
He seemed pretty strange. He didn't even seem like he was acting to me. I think that guy really acts like that.
He probably does. He might be a comedian or something. I didn't really look it up. So now the funny thing is, he's doing his job. He has he charges a certain rate an hour, but he eventually the boss kind of thinks he's slow playing it to get more money. But really, he's trying to lay low because he don't know karate. Yeah. He don't have a gun. He don't.
Hey, why did the dad think that he could just walk over there and say, "Jesse, come back. You're coming back with me"?
Because people with money think that's what you can do.
I guess.
I don't think. I think it took him a minute to understand that his son was trying to get away from him, not that his son was trying to make things right with the master. So, we're kind of basically coming to the end. I mean, the big conflict here is while trying to get the deed, and also the pimp sends his thugs out to go and get Kelly because one of the golfers, as one of their quote unquote benefits of the club, they want a blonde, and Kelly's a blonde. So they want to traffic Kelly. Otherwise,
no other homeless women that are blonde in that area.
Harrison was ready to run. Like, he's like, things are getting hot over here, I'm out. But Jesse convinces him to go save Kelly, which allows him to not only go save Kelly, Jesse agrees to go back with the private investigator and go run the company like he's supposed to. And then Harrison eventually gets his land back from his uncle, takes out the pimp and the thug, stops all the trafficking. He's the hero, saves the day. Everybody is happy. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing in their happy, homeless, whatever town.
Yeah. What's it called? Sleepy Town or something like that?
I don't even know, man. It was
Shifty Town. It's
something like that.
They just made up and
Shifty Town.
Yeah, it was something like that. I can't remember. It was something like that. What did you think of the? There was a girl. What was her name? Charlotte. That was. I think that was his wife, right?
I believe. I think you're right. I think
Angel, you're muted, man. You're muted, Angel. There you go.
Bro, looked like he was really saying something there.
I was saying, I think it was his wife.
Yeah. She just kind of just shows up. She's his wife in real life, but not in the movie. But she just kind of shows up and starts doing martial arts. And I see her flirting with him. It didn't seem like he was realizing that she was flirting with him. And at the end of the movie, they both decided we're just going to be homeless. I didn't understand. Like, you have a house and you choose not to keep it. You even had a house back in California, but you decided just to be homeless. I don't understand that. I don't get that at all. None of that.
Well, he wants to be off the grid, man. He wants to break the chains of oppression.
Then the police come. the police for some reason come to this homeless town, right? The police just show up and they're gonna take Kelly. And Kelly says, "No, I want to go with Harrison." And they're like, "No, you got to go home to your stepdad." And then she said, "Well, he knows what he did to me." Now, she didn't seem like she was upset or nothing like that. You know, she didn't seem like she had been abused or whatever. And then the police said, "Well, we're just gonna, we'll find some place for you." And everybody is just like, "Oh well, all right, go ahead." Like they didn't try to find out where she was going. They didn't get any contact information. They were just like, "All right, see ya." That's it.
She'd have been better off with the homeless folk.
Pretty much.
Did you guys like how I said the end, or is it?
Yeah,
I mean, I figured that he thought, well, maybe he'll continue the story and let us
That's
know.
what. Well, my whole thing was like, we never got a part 2.
Yeah,
I don't. What are they going to upgrade to a shack?
No. I mean, at this point in time, this is like 15 years later. I mean, I hope they're not still being homeless.
I might try and nudge him to do Drifter TKD 2 so I can get in on there.
Oh, you want to be homeless?
You would be if I'm in a movie.
A homeless martial artist?
I think Main Gang can sponsor that.
I think we could. A $10,000? Come on, movie. Come on now.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad. Like story wise, like you guys said.
Yeah, story wise.
I think that some of the editing of the fight scenes should have been done better. Like if you think about a movie, especially those major motion pictures, they don't have such a far away shot of a fight scene. It's a little bit closer, and sometimes you're looking at them
like
from either behind.
Like with them person.
Yeah,
fight. Yeah.
Yeah. So the fight scenes look a little different.
Is that called third person or first person?
No, that's for communication. That's for talking.
No.
You mean the view?
Yeah, it's like a view of it, like more of like a POV, style type of like.
Kind of, kind of, yeah. So it makes it look a little bit better. I think the fight scene to me would have looked a little bit better if he would have had a different type of editing and camera shots. But other than that, like
I mean, bro, it was
I'm not gonna kill it. Yeah,
he couldn't get to the $15,000 movie.
Let's grade it. What do you guys think, grade wise?
Oof. I'm gonna give it a solid C. Okay, I like the dude. It's not on our low level. We knew what we were getting into.
I could actually watch this again.
Me too.
Yeah, I could watch this again.
So
Angel, what do you get it?
We knew what we were getting into when we watched it, and so with that in mind, I'm okay with it.
You said C?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C. Like,
can I hear Trav? You do yours. I mean, Trav, Gene, my bad.
I've been thinking about it. I'm gonna give it a C plus.
Oh, okay.
C plus, yeah.
See, I was gonna say B minus or C plus.
Okay.
Yeah, B minus is again like it's because we already knew what we were watching.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I'm not going to compare this to, like, some of the better movies we watch. But on our lower level scale, it's actually above some of those.
It's above all.
I mean, to me, it's above Street Fighter, and that's a major motion movie.
Yeah.
And Double Dragon.
Yeah.
Both probably had a bigger budget. So
yeah, they definitely did.
Yeah, so that's why I say that. But, like, and then it's like when I look at it, like, let's just say like let's just say like one of like the Mortal Kombats, like the older ones. We said those like a B plus or B minus, whatever. I wouldn't put this one on that level. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean I get it. I mean, that's going to have a little bit more special effects and everything. And Mortal Kombat is a huge movie, but I don't know. I think I probably will watch this over Mortal Kombat. I really, Mortal Kombat, that first Mortal Kombat. I don't know, man.
Hey, listen. Is this better than American Ninja?
Oh, man, you always gotta go pull that movie out.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah, right? I was gonna say yeah. But I will say when we watch Pray for Death, I think I put Pray for Death above this movie.
Okay. So what are we gonna watch next?
We have to. We got to do the John Wick series.
Yeah, but you said the next one comes out on the 25th, so we got like an extra week where
Let me
we
see.
can watch something else.
How many weeks do we? I'm trying to. Let me look at my phone right now.
So we got 3 John Wick movies to watch. So that's the first week of March, second week of March, and the third week of March.
So if we were to do this Saturday, oh yeah, we gotta have something else in between. Each for one, 2, 3, and then the fourth one comes out. Yeah, so we gotta watch the first one. We gotta watch like in the next 2 weeks. Like we can't watch the first one yet.
Yeah. So you guys got anything that you guys want to watch? I don't know about that list Travis sent over.
No, I'm done with that. No,
We're done with that list.
No. Listen, for me to get destroyed in person by our fans and like literally people that listen to us and know me, and then have to embarrass me like that and be like, "Yo, so when y'all gonna review a good movie?" Like,
you know what? Matter of fact, I did receive a message on Twitter.
We did,
what was that movie?
What did they want us to review?
The Raid movies.
But there's 3 of those.
And then Drive from 1997 or Rapid Fire.
What is Drive?
I don't know. I mean, we can watch Drive or Rapid Fire. I don't care.
I think we should do like one of like a one-off movie. So if those are just one-offs, we should do.
Yeah, they're just one-off.
Yeah, we should do that. That sounds good to me.
Let's do Rapid Fire. Let's see what that.
Let's see what this about.
Rapid Fire. Okay, so next week we're gonna do Rapid Fire. Now, as far as when we record, we're gonna have to talk about that because I don't know.
If I can find it, like I said, like if you're good, I can do a Sunday morning.
That'll work for me.
But I don't know about you. I don't know about Joe. Like I'm cool with on Sunday morning. I really don't do nothing. So like I can do that. That's no problem.
I got to be out the door, right? Kind of. So it would have to be pretty early.
Either
Plus,
way,
we're gonna be getting ready to go. Rapid Fire. This looks like it has Brandon Lee in it.
Okay.
Okay. From
Brandon
the Crow?
Lee. Yeah, Nick Masco, Michael Paul. Yeah, this looks interesting. This is it's on Encore, and I don't know anything else that's on right now.
Quick question, off topic from karate movies.
1992.
What do you guys feel about the WBC World Boxing Council saying that they would rank Jake Paul in the cruiserweight division if he beats Tommy Fury? How do you guys feel about that?
I think Jake Paul's a bum.
Okay.
I mean,
and I hope he gets knocked out soon.
No, man, that's not right. I don't think that's right, man, because there are so many boxers who have been putting in work for years, who have more fights and more wins against real boxers. You know, I really wish the MMA guys would stop stepping up and fighting these guys.
Too much money. Why wouldn't they?
No. I get that. But I mean, if you're looking at it from a money point of view, then yeah, I get it. But if you're trying, I mean, because unless you are an MMA fighter with a boxing background, like how they used to be, you know, this guy used to be majority a wrestler, or this guy used to have a kickboxing background, or this guy was if there's somebody that has a boxing background like that, then okay. But just because you box occasionally don't make you a boxer, you know. And there's so many other boxers, there's so many young boxers that's not getting those opportunities or not getting that light shined on them. I don't think those guys would do very, very well against a legit boxer.
No, they wouldn't.
They I don't think so.
So this is my thing. When I saw it, I think it came out yesterday. When I saw it, this is what I thought. I thought a couple of things. My first thing I thought of was if they rank Jake Paul in that, then at a certain point, then all they're trying to do, all the WBC is trying to do is actually they're just trying to get like a money grab. You know what I mean? They're just trying to get a portion.
Have any of those guys had a legit fight, a real boxing fight?
Tommy Fury has.
No. I'm talking about the Paul brothers. Have they had? Because I think haven't all of their fights just been exhibitions?
No. They all been pros. All of Jake Paul's has been pro fights, and then the only person that has not had pro fights was
Who did Jake Paul fight?
Nate Robinson was a pro fight.
Man, that's not a pro fight. Nate Robinson is not a boxer. He's a basketball player. Then you can't do that. No.
It was a pro fight. It counted on his record. That's number one. Number two, Ben Askren was a pro fight. Stop. Those are pro fights. Those are pro fights. You're saying were they pro fights or exhibitions? I'm not saying
they were all exhibition fights.
No. They were
fight in an amateur league.
No, they were sanctioned pro boxing matches. His 2 fights with what's his face? With Woodley were pro matches. And then he had one person before Nate that was a pro fight. Yeah, one person before Nate.
None of those people that you just named are boxers.
And then Anderson Silva was a pro fight. Anderson Silva, you can give. Anderson Silva, you can give.
He like 50. I'm not giving him that. I'm not giving him that.
But this is my thing, though. But you saw what Anderson
Silva
Silva
not even a boxer.
But you saw what Anderson Silva did to Tito Ortiz.
They are old, man. They are past their prime. Come on, now you can't. No.
Okay, but this is the other part. This is the other part. I'm saying I think the WBC just wants to make money off of that, right? That's number one.
Yeah, I
also do.
Yeah.
Number two, I'm not. What they're gonna end up doing is if they rank them, they're gonna have them fight for one of those like BS titles. You know what I'm talking about? Like not like a legitimate WBC silver champion type title, like a WBC US NBC belt, or like a WBC intercontinental champion, or whatever it is. Like they'll make a belt for him. Then the last thing I thought about was like, if he does it, I kind of want him to be ranked, because then at some point he has to fight a real fighter. At some point he has to.
Well, I don't. As soon as he fights a real fighter, either him or his brother, they fight a real boxer, and they lose, then the money train is, as far as when it comes to boxing, is going to be done. Unless they jump into MMA or the WWE. Unless they go those 2 routes. But if they do the boxing and they lose to real boxers, their managers aren't going to let them continue to go out there and box and lose against real boxers.
But this is my thing, though, right? Like, this is my thing, actually, when it comes to it. My thing is this. They're doing basically what they're doing is they're pulling the wool over everyone's eyes, right?
Oh, 100%.
And they're like making it like they're making it basically a WWE style type. They're just making it seem like it is real fights, but it's not. Like, it is WWE style. Like,
well, the more entertaining, the more money.
Like, it's already fixed before it even happens, type stuff. So
I've heard of that before. I don't know how true that is. I don't know.
I
don't want to think that is the case, but
you can see it with the way with the way they are, with the way the promotion goes. It is. It's like it's almost fixed before it even happens. It is true. Like, you can see.
Well, I mean, that'll tell you something. If they get into the ring with real boxers and if they get knocked out in the first round, then that'll let you know. Then, yeah. But
I think they're good enough that they don't get knocked out in the first round. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he's good enough he won't get knocked out in the first round.
I don't know. We'll see. You guys got anything else?
You know what? Check out the page. Check out the Patreon.
What is Patreon?
Honest to God, I'm telling you guys right now, you won't be disappointed.
Anything, Angel? That's it?
No, that was it. Just go to the Patreon.
All right, everybody. Stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you next week, maybe. And I am going to play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.